Hi folks, Job Lot Comics here, having a look at an old forgotten issue of The Flash. This is number 281, and you can see it's from January. It's not really from January though, is it? It's probably from like October, and then they just put that on there so they could keep them on the shelves longer. It's a great issue because it's got this really weird Professor Zoom cover. Flash is like just literally pulling him in two pieces. What on earth? Although technically he's not really in two because look, he's went down that one leg, so that means if he was completely in two, then there would be one leg on one side and there'd be one leg in the other. Does that make any sense? No, of course it doesn't. Do you know why? Because it's a Bronze Age Flash comic. It's written by Cary Bates. It's got pencils by Don Heck. Don Heck, a seasoned professional, even in 1980, but he did work right through the Golden Age, the Silver Age, the Bronze Age. I was never a huge fan of his work, I must admit. I don't mind his stuff in the 80s here. And I don't have enough experience of his work in the Golden Age, but I did know that he did one of the most prolific covers of the Golden Age, a kind of horror book with this head that was a sort of shot of this guy, his head, and he's been shot through the forehead, because in the Golden Age they just shoot you in the forehead in a comic, yeah. That ain't Batgirl. I'm pretty sure that's there you go, it says it there. Barry Allen's costume for the masquerade party was what else? His Flash uniform. Yes, it's a quite meta. I think that's Iris, poor Iris, that was dressed up as Batgirl, and that was when she died, kicking off a huge string of events in Flash that would run and run and run and run. But who killed her? Yeah, nobody knows. Actually, of course they knew. Poor Iris. This is in the 80s, way before gritty 1986 Batman and Spider-Man and all that kind of stuff. So even Flash was looking at a much more serious approach to storytelling. He was one of the silliest superheroes of the Silver Age. He was always getting fat, or he was always turning into things, or he was always getting zapped somewhere. And I mean, all this weird stuff. Look at this weird, what's going on here? Forgot about Zoom's ultra-advanced 25th century technology. He must have gimmicked himself to create that splitting illusion with 3D holographic images. At what point, as a supervillain, do you think that that's a good idea? Just makes me wonder about the way Cary Bates was writing this. Did he think that'd be a brilliant thing if Flash grabbed him and he split in two? Was that what he was thinking? Meanwhile, yeah, he's got heavy matter boots, another tribute to 25th century science. That fantastic glow you see means that their ionic gravity cells have been activated, and that means that their weight is tripling itself every two. So he's sinking Flash into the ground, and then he says, there was so much we could have talked about, like Iris, and he says, yeah, Iris, as a citizen of the future, your present is a matter of record. It may be a little late to say this, but I know who killed Iris. And he's damn you, who killed Iris? And he's sinking into the grass, into the sand, and he's got these ionic boots on, and Professor Zoom saying he knows who killed Iris, and Flash, talk about cliffhangers. Who's this goofball? Is it Kane or is it Abel? Nobody knows. But there's some books, and there's a Super Friends Halloween special. There you go. So yeah, what a cliffhanger. Who was writing in? Brian K. Morris? I have no idea who that is. Tamsin O'Flynn wrote in. Donald Rilling Jr. He is the junior of the Donald Rilling clan. So there you go. A brilliant issue. Hope you enjoyed looking at that. I know, gritty Flash with the death of his wife. We're still messing about with this kind of nonsense. How weird. Have a good one. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.